There is a sky event happening right now that astrologers wait years to see, and it is happening in your sign, Leo. Not next week, not next month. Today. Here is why this particular Thursday matters more than most. The Sun and Jupiter are meeting exactly in Leo today, a pairing so rare that Western astrologers call it the Day of Miracles, and it only happens once a year in your sign, for you. At the very same time, the only full moon in Aquarius this entire year is landing directly across from you, activating the part of your life that deals with partnership, commitment, and the people you let get close. Two major cosmic events, one single day, both pointing straight at your closest relationships and your sense of who you are becoming. Let us slow down and look at what is actually happening up there, because the mechanics matter here. The Sun conjoining Jupiter in Leo is expansive by nature. It swells your presence, your generosity, your appetite for taking up space in the world. You may have noticed today that you feel more magnetic than usual, like people are catching your energy before you have even said anything. That is not your imagination. That is Jupiter amplifying whatever the Sun touches, and the Sun happens to be sitting right in your identity today. Meanwhile, across the sky, the Aquarius full moon is doing something different, but deeply connected. It is illuminating your seventh house, the zone of committed partnership in Western astrology. If you have been circling around a conversation about making something official, this lunation gives that conversation unusual weight right now. But there is a longer story here too. This is not just a one-day blip. This particular full moon kicks off roughly a year of relationship turbulence and renewal across the collective, running from now until next July. Expect the people around you, maybe even you, to experience breakups, makeups, engagements, and beginnings in unusually close proximity to each other. Watch the days around July 20th on future calendars, since that window tends to intensify things further. Now zoom out even further, because there is a third layer to today's story that most horoscopes skip entirely. Chiron, the wounded healer, has been sitting in Taurus for a while now, and for you specifically, Leo, this placement has been quietly working on your relationship to career, study, and what counts as real work in your life. Chiron is not a daily transit. It is a slow-moving, multi-year presence, and its message to you has been consistent. Your version of progress does not have to look like anyone else's. You may have found yourself questioning old professional structures, considering a sabbatical, switching from one kind of labor to another, or getting pulled toward causes that push back against outdated systems. That thread has been running underneath your year, and today's Sun-Jupiter meeting gives it fresh oxygen. Take a breath here, because this next part is personal. 3 different traditions are essentially describing the same moment from different angles. Western astrology sees the Sun-Jupiter cazimi as permission to expand and be seen. The evolutionary lens, through Chiron, sees a career identity that is ready to be rebuilt on your own terms. And even the more everyday, moon-based reading for today notices a shift toward being pickier about where you spend your energy, choosing depth over scattered attention. 3 lenses, 1 message. Today is not about doing more. It is about doing what is actually yours, loudly and without apology. So let us talk about love first, since that is where the sky is pointing hardest today. If there is someone you have been building something with, the energy today leans toward clarity rather than confusion. Conversations about commitment carry more honesty now, and many people with this transit report feeling ready to say the thing they have been holding back. But here is what almost every astrologer glosses over. Wanting to make things official and being prepared for what that actually requires are 2 different things. This lunation can hand you the label. It cannot hand you the follow-through. At some point soon, real partnership asks for a small sacrifice, a meeting in the middle, not just a big romantic gesture. If you are unattached, the invitation looks different but rhymes with the same theme. The energy favors taking a genuine chance on someone who shows real potential, rather than playing it safe. And if your closer relationships have felt oddly tense lately, quick to spark into an argument that did not need to happen, that is worth naming too. There is a pattern of communication friction moving through your daily interactions right now, less about big betrayals and more about small misunderstandings that snowball. Choosing a slightly more diplomatic tone today, especially with coworkers, family, or neighbors, tends to smooth more than it costs you. Now here is where it gets interesting, because that same expansive, magnetic energy fueling your love life is also sitting directly in your career house today. This is where the Day of Miracles earns its name. Whatever you have been wanting to ask for, whatever vision you have been sitting on, today's energy leans toward being seen and heard when you share it. Many people with this Sun-Jupiter pairing report success making introductions, pitching ideas, or simply letting themselves take up more room in a meeting instead of shrinking down. The key word here is deliverable. Confidence lands well today. Overpromising does not. Pick one commitment you can actually keep, and let that be the thing you lead with. And remember that slower Chiron thread we talked about earlier, the one quietly reshaping your relationship to work itself. Tade's burst of visibility might be the exact moment that thread becomes actionable. If you have been sensing that your current professional path does not fit anymore, this is less a random itch and more a multi-year invitation, finally ripening. That does not mean quit today. It means notice what today's confidence reveals about what you actually want next. Which brings us, naturally, to money, because visibility and opportunity tend to travel together. We will come back to how this affects your rest and energy levels in a moment. But first, a quick note on finances. The same expansive energy asks for one guardrail here too. Excitement is running high, and that is genuinely a gift, but it is also the kind of energy that can inflate a budget as easily as it inflates confidence. If a financial opportunity or a delayed situation suddenly starts moving today, and there is a decent chance one does, treat the momentum as real, but double-check the numbers before committing anything significant. The energy favors bold moves paired with quiet verification, not bold moves alone. Here is what makes today genuinely rare, and it is worth sitting with for a second. You have a once-a-year confidence surge, a once-a-year relationship-defining full moon, and a multi-year career identity shift, all activating on the very same day. Most people will experience this as three separate, unrelated feelings: a mood, a relationship conversation, a work idea. What almost nobody notices is that all three are the same signal, arriving through different doors. The invitation today is not to chase three different things. It is to recognize that visibility, partnership, and purpose are, for you right now, one single story wearing three costumes. That recognition changes how you might want to treat your energy today. You may have noticed a pull toward being more selective lately, less interested in scattering yourself across every request for your attention, more drawn to what genuinely lights you up. That is not laziness. That is wisdom arriving right on schedule. Rest when the impulse says rest. A private, honest conversation today, even a short one, might carry more weight on an important decision than a dozen public gestures. On the more traditional guidance side, some practitioners in Vedic astrology associate today's energy with the color yellow as a way of supporting good fortune, and energy for many tends to peak in the late afternoon, somewhere around 5 of the clock. If remedies or gemstones ever come up in your own chart readings, it is worth knowing that anything beyond a simple color choice, especially specific gemstones, really depends on your individual birth chart and is not something any general horoscope can responsibly hand out. As the day moves into evening, that same energy touches home and the people closest to you. If tension has been simmering with a family member or a neighbor over something small, Today's diplomatic opening still holds. A brief, warmer exchange now tends to land better than a defensive one, and it costs you very little to try. And if you have been considering a trip, especially one built around reflection rather than escape, this is a particularly meaningful window for it. A journey taken now, even a short one, for creativity or personal growth rather than pure leisure, has a good chance of staying meaningful for a long time afterward. It does not have to be far. It has to be intentional. If you are looking for something simple to carry with you today, lean toward the color yellow, favor conversations over confrontations, trust your energy peak in the late afternoon, and treat any bold financial or romantic move as something to pair with a little patience rather than pure impulse. So here is where all of this actually lands. Say the vision out loud today, but choose one promise you can keep. If a relationship conversation is calling for honesty, have it, but meet the other person halfway rather than expecting them to do all the moving. And if that old question about your work, your purpose, your version of progress has been quietly knocking, let today's confidence be the moment you finally answer it, on your own terms and in your own timing. Whatever you are wishing for right now, this is the kind of day that rewards wishing big. Not because the universe guarantees it, but because you, Leo, finally sound like you believe it too.